Hello and hi, welcome to Yedidia Shofet.net, and welcome to this week's Parshat, Parshat Ekev. This week's Parsha, it starts off with food. It starts off with the Shevet Aminim. What does it start off? It talks about V'achalta v'savata berachta. It talks about eating. It talks about how when a person eats and is satisfied, what does he do? He makes a blessing. And afterwards it follows the whole thing about the Shivat Aminim. What is the Shivat Aminim? They're the 7 species, the special 7 species that take priority in the barachot, in the blessings in which that we do. Whether they're different grains, or whether they're the olives, figs, dates, pomegranates, all these different items. So, all of this aside, that we talk about food, we talk about blessings and everything. It's very interesting about what is said immediately after that. It talks about V'ram levavecha. It talks about don't be haughty. What does that mean? It says that make sure that you don't increase your horsepower, you don't increase your cattle, your money, your silver, your gold to such a degree that you push yourself that nothing else matters, in order that you shouldn't reach a point of v'shachachta et Hashem Elohecha, that you shouldn't not forget God your Hashem. So my question to you is, how does this fall in with food? Where is this whole connection with the idea? Where does Viram levavecha, lest you be haughty, lest you feel that your pride takes over yourself? Where does that come in? So there's a beautiful story. The story is about this master Jewish tailor. And everyone from all across the globe, they knew his name. And they said that every suit that we have, we got to go to him, and he'll make it in the perfect stitching, the perfect fit for anyone. So all the noblemen, all the magistrates, they all used to come to him in order to make their suits. And one day there was a special nobleman, a count actually, that came over to this fellow and said, listen, I have this fabric. It's one of the most unique fabrics. It's from the fashion capital city of the world. That's right, you guessed it, Paris. I want you to take this and turn it into a beautiful suit. So he says, of course I'll do it. And then the person, the count, says, are you sure you can do it? So the Jew, he's like, what are you looking at? You're looking at the best of the best. You're looking at the master tailor. What are you kidding me? Are you sure I can do it? He started chuckling to himself. So the count says, okay, fine, if that's the case. He took his measurements, and about a week later, he came with his puffed up chest, and he says, here's your suit. The count looked at it and said, you ruined a beautiful piece of fabric, get out of my house. And he chased him out of his house. After that, everyone started hearing, oh, this guy lost his touch. This guy doesn't know how to make his suits anymore. He doesn't know how to sew. And they started ruining his name. Until finally, it came to a point where he was slowly losing his business. And he didn't know what to do. So his wife tells him, listen, there's a rabbi over here. And the rabbi, his name is Rabbi Yeruchamel. I want you to go to him. Ask him, what can you do? So he's thinking, listen, what does the rabbi know about tailoring? What does the rabbi know? Okay, I'll go to him. He goes to the rabbi, and the rabbi says, tell me what happened. He told him the whole story. The rabbi, so you know what the rabbi tells him? He says, take the suit. You still have it, right? Take the suit, cut all of the hems, cut all of the parts in which that you sewed together. What is it called again? Basically, cut all the seams. And when you cut all the seams, I want you to re-stitch it exactly at those same spots. So he's thinking, what is this rabbi? He doesn't know anything about tailoring. Oh, I should just cut it and re-sew it? It's a waste of time. But nevertheless, what did he have to lose? So he cuts it all the seams. And then he re-sews it. And he brings it to the count. The count looks at it, he starts crying. He's like, this is the most beautiful suit. And the guy's thinking, what is this guy lost his mind too? Everyone's crazy. So he gives him his suit. And after the count not only gives him a bonus, but he says, I'm going to restore your name. He's wondering what's going on. He goes to the rabbi. He says to him, Rabbi, please tell me, what happened over here? He tells him, listen, the first time, you did it with such arrogance, with such pride, that you lacked grace in your work. Your skill was not a skill of elegance anymore. Rather, it was just me. It was just that, watch what I can do. There was no grace in it. But once you came to this point in which that everything depended on this, you gave your whole heart to it. You didn't have all this arrogance. You weren't haughty, but rather you did it with your actual might of putting your full devotion into it. Then it became that suit that you used to want to do. V'ram levavecha, lest you be haughty. It's telling you the connection between food and becoming rich and making a blessing is all intertwined together. Because imagine a person who has a lavish meal. He has a banquet that goes on by every lunch. And at the end of the banquet, after he made his hundreds of millions of dollars, and at the end of the banquet, he sits and he says, Birkat Hamazon, that he thanks God that everything that he has is not because of his own hands, not because of his own doings, but rather because of the blessing that God gave him, that he has his sustenance. He's saying that, look, it's not because of me. He's showing that my heart, of all the effort that I put in, is still not because of my efforts. It's because of what God gave me to do. What God gave me the ability. God gave me that beracha. What did He do? He made sure that I can do this. And it's not only because it's my hands, but rather it's because God gave you that ability. And when you say that beracha, birkat hamazon, it's throwing away this idea of veram levavecha. It's throwing the whole idea of being haughty. It's making you believe that it's all in your hands through the blessing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is the idea of why the food is placed next to sustenance, that is placed next to haughtiness, because it's all together. You have to realize about where everything comes to you, where all your sustenance comes from. No matter how successful you are, you have a source, you have a root, and that is the beracha, the blessing of what God gave to you. Have a beautiful Shabbat and have a beautiful weekend, and please share this video with all your friends. Thank you.